Since you are watching this, chances are you have also watched the Homestuck animated pilot trailer posted by VisiPop. If this is true, you have just participated in witnessing something the internet was not fully prepared for, and it now feels like it's the end of the world. But don't beat yourself up about it. There was nothing you as a fan could have done to prevent it. The pilot is being made right now, as I speak, and as you listen. I have come to understand that we were always doomed through our collective ignorance of the power of the talented and really dorky animators of Spindleroo, who are tasked with adapting a webcomic property almost too inconceivable to comprehend as Homestuck. I'm presently faced with the same conundrum as you, and though I speak with more experience, my own opinion on the animation is far from assured. I will examine the trailer, as much of it as there is to play, and record my findings here. If you want to understand the trailer just a little better, you will listen to what I have to say. My condolences. L.E. No, not that L.E. Okay, I think we're done with this. Let's stop before I start monologuing about a hatred of wizards. But seriously, we shouldn't be freaking out about this trailer that much. It's for a pilot, for goodness sakes. Pilot episodes, whether for animated or live-action series, basically exist for two reasons: attention and money. It's a test run to see if audiences are interested in the show being pitched, or, better yet, if investors are interested. If the show's concept tests well, it can be put into production, provided there's enough capital to keep it running for at least a season. In this process of finding out what works and what doesn't work for the audience or producers, art styles can be different because they change production studios. Actors may lose availability and have to be replaced. Even characters' names, personalities, or appearances can shift drastically from pilot to premiere. Okay, that last part might not actually happen for Homestuck specifically because it's already been written and its characters are firmly established. Just to emphasize, nothing is fixed or sacred in a pilot episode. As much as pre-production would want to pull their hair out if someone were to mess with their precious pitch Bible, it's a fact of the industry pipeline that change will happen and you gotta adapt. So if there's something that rubs you the wrong way with the pilot when it comes out, be sure to let the Homestuck team know in the most polite way possible. If you're a Homestuck, you are the core demo. Just don't be a jerk about it.
You seem to really know a lot about this animation industry stuff.
Yeah, Phil. It's almost as if I have 2 degrees in animation, with an emphasis in storyboarding, currently serving as coasters on my coffee table. Granted, I think a lot of the fan apprehension is coming from people who are just really scared of the younger, hyper-obsessed VisiPop fanbase getting fixated on Homestuck. Us millennials have already gone through this fandom's cringe years. We don't want the Zoomers bringing it back. Now for the trailer. Overall, it seems the pilot is going to be a very condensed version of Act 1, with a few bits from Act 3 of Homestuck. There's some overlap of events between acts. The setting will primarily be Earth, at the home of main character John Egbert, on April 13th, 2009. Though the trailer does briefly show part of Alternia and the temple on Jade Harley's island. The pilot will be focusing on John as he prepares to confront his dad to receive his birthday presents, and more specifically, the beta discs for the much-anticipated game of the year, Spurb. Shenanigans ensue. And that's about where the similarities between the trailer and the webcomic end. Some is due to it being an adaptation into animation than anything else. Homestuck is a very text-heavy narrative, especially since most dialogue is shown through chat room conversations between a cast of characters so giant, creator Andrew Hussey had to put text colors and typing quirks just to keep things sane. Since walls of text do not translate well to animation, Spindleroo decided to have characters voice or video call each other through their chat client, PesterChum, using their phones and computers. Somehow, in a world where Spurb and such fantastic creatures exist, terminally online millennials calling people on the phone is the least realistic thing of this trailer. With this change, we get the added bonus of seeing our other characters like Dave Strider and Rose Lalonde reacting to John's antics in real time. These reactions can be very cartoony, like Dave breaking through the phone to literally grab John's face. The dialogue is where the story condensing becomes very noticeable. Some people may be upset the pilot will not be a one-for-one recreation of Act 1, but I say if we can reduce the amount of reader-prompted stream of consciousness commands where John is just faffing about his room, please do. Keep the iconic ones, of course. The scene's writing had to be changed in order to fit at least 100 pages within a, let's assume, 7 to 12 minute animation. This is reflected in the dialogue, especially since we don't have the benefit of the narrator explaining bits of the backstory for us.
But my dad probably has it. I've been trying to avoid him, as you can well imagine.
The dialogue seems to have changed the most with Dave Strider. In the webcomic, Dave acts like he doesn't know or care that it's John's birthday. Spoilers, he really cares. He keeps this act up for a bit. But in the trailer, the first line we hear is,
"Happy birthday, bro!"
Also, I don't think Dave has ever said the phrase numbnuts in his entire existence. Speaking of which, John is the one who discovers the meteor heading for his house, not Dave. Good lord, we're Hermione Grangering Dave Strider. That is a statement I never thought I'd say. Then there's things that perplex me. Like Hussey appearing behind the fourth wall. Hussey's first appearance in Homestuck doesn't happen until a year later. I'm assuming this is a big gotcha moment like, oh ho ho, travelers, you want to see if John Egbert survives the encounter with the meteor and who this orange man is? Read the comic. Hussey's not listed as a voiced character, so he's just a visual gag. Who is listed as a voiced character is none other than Carcat Vantis. The earliest Carcat appears is in Act 3, trolling Jade. Today's the day you finally F everything up. Though the tiny scene of the troll we're shown in the trailer technically doesn't appear until the Act 3 intermission, way earlier in the timeline than the Jade conversation. Not that I'm complaining. Carcat is my favorite. And he's voiced by Kazuha's friend. Oh my gosh, the parallels write themselves. Okay, so there's this one thing about the trailer that threw me for a loop. It's this. It makes me angrier than it has any right to. Why does the Spurb beta look like this? Like it's professional quality? For comparison, this is what the discs look like in the comic. The appearance of the discs fuels this small theory in the back of my brain that this whole hypothetical series takes place in a parallel universe inside the greater Homestuck universe. Wouldn't be the first time. Maybe the series will take place in the 2020s instead of the 2000s. They'd really have to deviate from the original for that, though. Dude, they really spent the budget on the strife with Dad Egbert. This is much larger scale than it was in the comic. Like, whoa. Alright, fun things from the trailer that I liked. The posters in John's room just being blurry enough to avoid copyright infringement. The fact that John's flip phone has a bunny charm. Beagle, Puss. The wizardy Herbert drawings in Rose Lalonde's room, and the horror terror on her laptop. The Meowsauceum! Fridge! Okay, that's just a me thing. The clown doll popping up like a boss fight. 1/4 of a boss fight, at least. John busting through a wall, leaving his sprite outline behind. Carcat with Crab Dad sprite. The Lotus Time capsule. And of course, the remix of Malcolm Brown's Showtime running in the background. If I had to wrap this up into an easy-to-digest sentence, I would fail. But if I were to try, don't worry about it. Have fun with the pilot when it comes out. Things are bound to change. The fandom will deal with the potential need to gatekeep the franchise when we get there. And Homestuck has never been that serious of a property. So we shouldn't act like the world will break apart if it's not a faultless execution. It's hard being a Homestuck, and nobody understands. But you're going to be okay. Just keep those irons in the fire, resist the urge to bleat like a sheep and jump on your desk, and remember, magic is real. See you all next time. Bye!
Hey there. Consider becoming a patron, just like the phenomenal Alexander Madeline, Ashley, and Mr. Anonymous.